Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Politics is the art of the possible, the attainable, the art of the next best. God has a special providence for fools, drunkards, and the United States of America. One day the great European war will come out of some damned foolish thing in the Balkans. People never lie, so much as before an election, during a war, or after a hunt. Never believe anything in politics until it has been officially denied. When you want to fool the world, tell the truth. Preventive war is like committing suicide out of fear of death. Laws are like sausages. It's better not to see them being made. It is the destiny of the weak to be devoured by the strong. Be polite. Write diplomatically. Even in a declaration of war, one observes the rules of politeness. Faust complained about having 2 souls in his breast, but I harbor a whole crowd of them and they quarrel. It is like being in a republic. The secret of politics: make a good treaty with Russia. Crowned heads, wealth, and privilege may well tremble, should ever again the black and red unite. Man cannot control the current of events. He can only float with them and steer. Hounds follow those who feed them. Politics are not a science based on logic. They are the capacity of always choosing at each instant, in constantly changing situations, the least harmful, the most useful. The great questions of the day will not be settled by means of speeches and majority decisions, but by iron and blood. The main thing is to make history, not to write it. The statesman's task is to hear God's footsteps marching through history, and to try and catch on to his coattails as he marches past. Politics ruins the character. We live in a wondrous time, in which the strong is weak, because of his scruples, and the weak grows strong, because of his audacity. An appeal to fear never finds an echo in German hearts. Never fight with Russian. On your every stratagem, they answer unpredictable stupidity. What we learn from history is that no one learns from history. The Americans are a very lucky people. They're bordered to the north and south by weak neighbors, and to the east and west by fish. A generation that has taken a beating is always followed by a generation that deals one. People who love sausage and people who believe in justice should never watch either of them being made. A really great man is known by 3 signs: generosity in the design, humanity in the execution, moderation in success. A bad plan that is well executed will yield much better results than a good plan that is poorly executed. With bad laws and good civil servants, it's still possible to govern. But with bad civil servants, even the best laws can't help. Anyone who has ever looked into the glazed eyes of a soldier dying on the battlefield will think hard before starting a war. The nation that has the schools has the future. You can do everything with bayonets, but you are not able to sit on them. A Bavarian is halfway between an Austrian and a human being. When a man says he approves of something in principle, it means he hasn't the slightest intention of carrying it out in practice. He who has his thumb on the purse has the power. I have always found the word Europe on the lips of those who wanted something from others, which they dared not demand in their own names. I have never lived on principles. When I have had to act, I never first asked myself on what principles I was going to act, but I went at it and did what I thought fit. I have often reproached myself for my want of principle. Laws are like medicine. They generally cure an evil by a lesser or a passing evil. No civilization other than that which is Christian is worth seeking or possessing. We Germans fear God, but nothing else in the world. You can't destroy the Polish national consciousness or Poles on the battlefield, but if you give them power, they will destroy themselves. A conquering army on the border will not be stopped by eloquence. With a gentleman, I am always a gentleman and a half, and with a fraud, I try to be a fraud and a half. Fools. You are who say you like to learn from your mistakes. I prefer to learn from the mistakes of others and avoid the cost of my own. A government must not waver once it has chosen its course. It must not look to the left or right, but go forward. Love is blind. Friendship tries not to notice. A little caution outflanks a large cavalry. All treaties between great states cease to be binding when they come in conflict with the struggle for existence. Universal suffrage is the government of a house by its nursery. Nothing should be left to an invaded people except their eyes for weeping. Never. Remember. Never trust a friend, the secrets you don't want your enemy to know. Show me an objective worthy of war and I will go along with you. Beware of sentimental alliances, where the consciousness of good deeds is the only compensation for noble sacrifices. Better pointed bullets than pointed words. You can do anything with children if you only play with them. Life has taught me to forgive much, but to seek forgiveness still more. I have often regretted what I have eaten, but never what I have drunk. One can put some trust in the gratitude of a sovereign, and also in that of his family. Under certain conditions, one can even rely upon it. But one can never expect anything from the gratitude of a nation.